Here's the best way to create a curved line. We're going to use our trimmer inverted to punch a line in, and I'm going to stretch the skin up higher like this. So you can see once we release that, it has a slightly soft bend, and that beard looks a lot better groomed. Hey GQ, as promised, I'm back, and I can't wait to clean this up. Let's recap. About a month ago, I shaved off a beard that I've had for almost 10 years. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. So you'll probably notice a few changes from the last video because after you cut off a great big beard, your face shape changes substantially. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna grow our beard back, and I've been doing this just without touching it at all. I haven't shaved, I haven't shaped, I haven't done anything. I've just let it grow for 4 weeks. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend people doing that. Sometime around the 2-week mark is probably when you want to start creating a little bit of a shape. But I wanted to leave it so that I could show you guys the dramatic impact that it makes. Some of the things you're going to experience in the first 4 weeks: itchiness, disheveledness. You're probably going to want to try to use beard oil. Don't. You're probably going to outline it too quick. And you're probably going to start taking clippers and guards to it. Don't do any of those things. Just wait. And if you've avoided the temptation to do any of those things, you're probably in good shape for a shape up. For this, what we're going to need is a trimmer. Now remember, a trimmer is about creating edges, so it's very fine teeth and gets all the way down to the skin. An electric shaver or a razor blade of your choice. I like electric shavers because I don't get so many ingrowns on my neck. You are also going to want to have some sort of a soft brush and a finishing balm. In one of my previous videos, I was showing you guys how to trim up a long beard. Now, a lot of the concepts are going to be very similar, but with a long beard, we started by trimming down the interior. At this length, I don't want to remove anything. So we're going to skip to step 2, which is the outline. The outline is just 3 lines. It's the top line, the base line, and the lip line. So let's start with the baseline because it's going to have the highest amount of impact. The baseline of the beard is the line at the bottom that kind of echoes the shape of your jaw. One of the things that happens when we first start growing our beards is that this area keeps growing and gets really, really thick. And if you notice, when I drop my jaw down here, you can still see all of the hair in behind. Seeing the hair in behind is kind of a problem because it softens the look of your jaw, and we want that jaw to look strong. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this line up, and we're gonna make it really nice and clean so that when you put your neckline down, it amplifies the shape of the jaw and gives it a stronger lineation. We're gonna start from the corner of the jaw, and we're gonna make a straight line down to the top of the Adam's apple, just like this. You can see we've got that nice strong line down now. We want to make sure we don't take that line up too high to the corner, this little corner of the jawline, because what happens is when you turn your head, that line lifts up and it sneaks up over top of your jaw, and that's what we call a chin strap. It's not that flattering. Now this hair down here has a tendency to grow upwards. To make sure that we don't just scrape this off using our trimmer, I'm going to turn it to the softer position here, and I'm going to work upwards into the line we created to remove all that nasty neck fluff. And I'm just going to take my soft brush, and I'm going to remove any shrapnel, making sure I get everything that's attached. And right back here especially. All right, now you can already see a difference from side to side. Now, let's get the other side and make sure we get that nice and even. So I'm going to tilt my chin back, go from the corner of my jaw. Now you'll notice on that side, I started a little lower and work my way higher. And the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure it's balanced on both sides. So on the second side, I usually start a little lower, I check to make sure it's balanced, and then I move it up as I need to. Now the easiest way to make sure the line is straight and clean is just tilt your neck back and have a look. See if there's anything sticking out or any little bumps. Now that line should descend slightly, so it's going to start up high and drop to a little bit lower, just like your jaw does. What our goal for this line is, as we grow our beard out, is to be able to bring this lower and lower and lower to match the front length of our beard. The big key here is that you don't want to see any hair growing on the neck behind the jawline, because once we remove that, it creates a stronger, more amplified jaw. The next line we need to work on is our top line. A lot of guys don't pay attention to this, but the top line is how we're going to edge out where the beard interacts with the face. You have two options for this line. You can either make something that is really straight and linear, or you can make something that is slightly curved. And that really depends on your face shape. When you have a narrow face shape, you want to work with something that is a little bit more of a curved line. If you have a fuller face shape, you want to try and keep that square because it gives a slightly leaner appearance. I think I'm going to go with a curved line. Here's the best way to create a curved line. We're going to use our trimmer inverted to punch a line in, and I'm going to stretch the skin up higher like this. By stretching that skin and putting a straight line in, when I relax that skin, it's going to have a slight bend to it. So you can see once we release that, it has a slightly soft bend, and that beard looks a lot better groomed. Now I'm going to remove the hair on top of my cheeks with my trimmer, and I'm going to repeat this on the opposite side. That's looking a lot better already. Now what we need to do is keep these pesky little hairs out of my mouth. They're really short, and this is maybe something that you won't need to do for the first even 6 to 8 weeks. But eventually that mustache is gonna start to overtake those lips. For this part, I usually like to just take my trimmer and just clean my lip line to make sure that when I'm drinking coffee out of a mug, it doesn't go all down my white t-shirts. Now the trick to this line is that it's slightly peaked in the center. You don't want to just come in and hammer a straight line across. What you want to do is you want to angle from the center down towards the corner of your mouth, and again from this side down towards the corner of your mouth. You can do that by taking your trimmer and angling it before you press in to remove those hairs. Now we don't need to do much to the interior at this point, and you can see that as far as beards go, it's looking a whole lot better. We're just gonna go over our neck and cheeks using the shaver or using whatever razor that you want to use to remove the hairs. This is just one more element of making it look extra clean and polished. And this is a really good way for you to be able to do the maintenance that this is gonna require for the next few weeks. You really wanna just keep this area clean and free from hairs. So I'm gonna take my shaver and I'm just gonna go over that and clean it up. And voila, you've crafted for yourself a fine looking beard. Now if you really want to crisp this up or you want to take this a little sharper, use things like powders or color, go visit your barber. He's going to have great advice on how you're going to be able to make this look sharp on the long term. The last thing you want to do once you've shaved things down to the wood, especially if you've shaved with a straight razor or any kind of a safety razor, is you want to make sure your skincare is on point. For the next little while, you want to make sure that you're using a good moisturizing wash. And for those of you that shave and outline your beard every day, I really suggest using some sort of an aftershave balm. I don't love the idea of using liquid aftershaves when you have facial hair because it tends to dry them out and it actually makes things itchier. But what I like to do is I like to use some sort of a cream aftershave or a cream balm, which is more moisturizing and is better because it actually moisturizes the beard. Also at this point, I would really suggest staying away from beard oil. Beard oil is meant for longer, fuller beards. It's really about conditioning the hair with a little bit of moisture for the skin as well. The more oil you add to it at this point, the more you're gonna increase the likelihood of having oily skin or breakouts. So try and stay away from that. I suggest using some sort of a beard balm just to get rid of those little flyaway guys or the ones that are starting to stick out. So take a little bit of that just to finish. Try and stay away from oil-based ones. I like things that are a little bit more of a wax and a matte finish because I don't like it when my beard looks shiny. And I'm just gonna work that on just to take away any of the little flyaways or the guys that are sticking out and not looking too clean. If you're watching along and you're still not convinced and you don't see the value in growing a beard, let me be the first to tell you, a beard can change your life.